while we have some quiet time, I want to talk about a new YouTuber I found a few months ago who does computer system builds, and they're really nice. They use parts I personally think are the superior brands, such as Corsair, NVIDIA, Gigabyte, Asus. He uses those sort of style of products for all of his computers, and I've just really been enjoying his videos. So if you want to check him out, the YouTube channel, his name is Carey Holzman, and he does computer videos, computer builds, and they are often quite long. You know, he has everything from budget, basic, to ultra high-end systems. So if you want to look at some more builds, I recommend going over to his channel. And then I'll split up into parts usually, so you don't have to sit there and watch a 2-hour long video. And instead you can just break it up into, he usually has 3 to 5 parts. So I'm going to plug that in. I'm going to get all my plugs here. And I want to plug in my, or mount rather, my fan. Look how that is going to be. Let's actually start taking off this side panel and just run my cables through the back to be out of the way for now. I have plenty of cable management behind there. This is a stiff cable. Alrighty, let's take a look at the top. Alright, and that fan is in. I thought there was a dust filter on the bottom. I may be wrong though. Okay. So we have that stuff in. So now I'm going to be pulling some of my drives. Next, we will be installing my drives. So in order to do that, I actually want to put these in backwards so the cables will be nice. But let me just check if I can do that and fit the screws in the proper place. Anyway, I'm going to come back with you when I start installing the motherboard and some more interesting components rather than the hard drive. So I'm now ready to insert my motherboard. So what I did was I used a thumb screw for the hard drive and a regular screw for the SSD, and It's kind of hard to explain, but basically in the fan area, part of the mesh is bulged in a little bit, so I was able to use that in order to fit the hard drive cables in the back. But the SSD cables fit in just fine. I didn't even have to use a right angle connector, SATA connector for the SSD. But the next thing is, after I installed my optical drive, transferred that over, and I also pulled out my NZXT Sensory fan controller. I did have it hidden behind there just to hide the screen, but I think I'm going to leave mine open. So I took off another one of those on the front. And next, it's time to install, or rather take out my old components, the rest of my old components. And I haven't reconfigured the standoffs because I figure I'll do that on camera. I also need to grab my motherboard manual for later. So I'm going to unplug my fan on the old machine. Sorry you can't see this real well at the moment. I'll pull this up closer. Unplug that. That can be plugged in. And I need to get rid of all my expansion devices. So let's do that. That's just a crappy USB thing I tried to install, but I didn't have any places for the older style connectors. So here's my graphics card. Yeah, there. This is my GTX 650 Ti. I bought it this summer, and I'm kind of pissed off because I paid about a little under $250 for it, I think. And they just dropped this down to like somewhere between 120 and 150. I don't remember exactly what it's at right now, but I'll put that off to the side. And we also got to pull out my old wireless card here. I need to get a new wireless card, or just get my internet down here, but it's hard to do it. It's just a 54 megabits gigabyte air cruiser. And pull this thing out. Pull this off. Make sure I can find what we need for this first. I'll be right back with this. Alright, so next, I just need to verify some stuff. Next, I'm going to pull out my motherboard. And make sure I don't have any static. I did cut myself, I don't know how I did that, but I'll try to move on. Where's my next one? Shit. Get that off the heatsink. And we should almost be ready. So there's my motherboard. Couldn't get that screw out. Alright, so next we need to look and see which screws I need. There's one. There's one. As far as I can see, we need 1, 2, okay. I might have to steal some extras from this computer. I'll be back when I get the standoffs. So here you see the system up and running. At the point of where I just stopped, I was already recording for about 2 hours, so I just decided to finish off camera. But everything worked out pretty well, except the reset button only could power the system on.